My partner, Steve, makes me laugh very often. He is a terrible dad joke person, and so he will always resort to a dad joke no matter what the situation is. If it's serious, if it's light-hearted, if I'm stressed, or if the kids are playing up, or if everyone's starting to get overstimulated, his go-to is a dad joke. We're really lucky to have this beautiful blended family, and it's really exciting for me to see my life now being what I hoped it would be and what I thought it would end up being like. Yeah, it's often hard to reflect back on a lot of the years where I would have struggled to find and think of something that made me laugh. I was sexually assaulted by my boyfriend at the time, his friend, and the hardest part about that, aside from the trauma itself, was the response I got from the people around me. It was very damaging when I did kind of come forward and say things, and I was met with that's just who he is. That's just who he is. What do you want me to do about it? So it took me a long time, and I repressed that significantly. And it wasn't until I started to actually work through some other things that I realised that was underlying there, and I started to have a lot of flashbacks. And so I was very lucky to have a therapist who supported me through the ACC process and the sensitive claims process. And I was able to do a full assessment and have a psychologist support me in that too. Yeah, there was a lot of trauma that I just sort of carried on through. I didn't stop and think about it. I didn't acknowledge that it had an impact on me. I just went, I'm tough, I'm strong, I'll carry on in it. But over time it eroded who I was, and it eroded some of the decisions that I would have made for myself. I think I had a lot of ideas, like a lot of my life, about what motherhood might look like, and that wasn't the case for me. And so it's been a really interesting journey of having to overcome my own trauma and really look deeply at myself and what it is that I want for my son and for now my bonus son. And so I feel really blessed to have them both in my life, because it constantly makes me look at myself and the way that I act or behave and what I want them to grow up with. I feel like he's been my biggest teacher in life. I don't think he'll ever realise it until he's older, but the way that he forces me to show up both for him and for myself continuously, because I have to think this is what I want for him, this is his future, and this is what the example I'm setting for him too, and I want him to look back and go, man, that's how I want a relationship, or like, that's how I want to respond to things, or yeah, and also be able to like express emotion and not feel bad about that, but do it in a healthy way that doesn't harm people. I think those are all really, really important skills.